Pain is a language that doesn't need words. It's felt in the silence between conversations, in the space where laughter used to live. When someone has wronged you, that hurt lingers like an unwelcome shadow. They may have walked away, or maybe they pushed you away, thinking they had all the time in the world to make things right. But pain has a way of teaching lessons that comfort never could. It's in that pain where you learned how to stand on your own. You learned how to pick up the pieces even when the person who broke you never looked back. See, what people don't understand is when they hurt you, they didn't just break a bond. They broke a version of you that will never come back. You can't just rewind time and press play like nothing ever happened. That pain changed you. It woke something up inside of you. It made you question your worth for a while. It made you fight battles behind closed doors that nobody saw. And now that same person feels the weight of what they did. They feel the absence of your presence. They feel the coldness where your warmth used to be. Desperation always comes after the damage. The same person who left you in the dark is now trying to find their way back into your light. But what they don't realize is they're not coming back to the same version of you. That pain you carried, it built walls. It made you more careful, more guarded. It made you value yourself in ways you never did before. It's easy to say, I'm sorry, when you're the one feeling the loss. It's easy to miss someone when they finally stop chasing you. But apologies don't erase the nights you cried yourself to sleep. Apologies don't erase the moments when you questioned if you were enough. The pain you endured was real. It shaped you. It forced you to love yourself when someone else couldn't. But here's the truth. Pain can break you or it can build you. And if you're standing here today, still breathing, still pushing forward, that means it built you. The very thing they thought would destroy you became the reason you discovered your strength. So before you let anyone back into your life, remember this. You fought to find your peace. You fought to rebuild yourself. Don't let the same person who broke you come back just because they're desperate to fix what they shattered. Your healing is yours. Your growth is yours. If they truly want to make things right, let them show you, not with words, but with consistency. Let them prove that their desperation isn't just a fear of losing you, but a genuine understanding of the damage they caused. The pain may have been the thing that broke you, but it's also the thing that made you unstoppable. Forgiveness is one of the hardest things you'll ever give, especially when the apology comes long after the damage has been done. It's not something you hand out easily, and it's not something everyone deserves access to. People think forgiveness is for the other person, like you're doing them a favor by letting go of what they did. But the truth is, forgiveness is for you. It's how you free yourself from carrying the weight of what they did. It's how you reclaim your peace. There's a certain kind of power in forgiveness that people don't always talk about. It's the power to say, you hurt me, but you don't get to control me anymore. It's not pretending the pain never happened. It's not sweeping everything under the rug like it didn't break you. Forgiveness is standing in the middle of your healing journey, looking at the scars they left and deciding those scars won't define you. When someone comes back desperate to make things right, it's tempting to let the apology be enough. It's tempting to believe their words will undo all the nights you cried, all the doubt they planted in your heart. But forgiveness isn't about erasing what happened. It's about choosing not to let what happened own you anymore. You forgive so you can move forward, not so they can feel better about themselves. What people forget is that forgiveness doesn't always come with reconciliation. You can forgive someone and still keep your distance. You can release the anger without reopening the door. Because forgiving someone doesn't mean they get to walk back into your life like nothing ever happened. It doesn't mean you owe them a second chance just because they finally realize their mistake. Forgiveness is a personal journey. It's something you give yourself when you're ready, not when they show up asking for it. The apology might be genuine, but your healing isn't on their schedule. You don't forgive because they deserve it. You forgive because you deserve peace. You deserve to wake up in the morning without bitterness sitting on your chest. You deserve to move forward without carrying the weight of someone else's choices. Real forgiveness happens in silence. It happens when you make the choice in your own heart without needing their validation. They don't have to be sorry for you to let go. They don't have to make things right for you to find peace. The apology might feel good to hear, but true forgiveness starts long before they ever ask for it. People will always try to come back when they see you've healed. They'll think your forgiveness is a ticket back into your life. But that's where your power comes in. You can forgive someone fully and still protect your boundaries. You can wish them well without welcoming them back into your space. Forgiveness isn't weakness, it's strength. It's the kind of strength that says, I loved you enough to let you close, but I love myself enough to let you go. It's choosing your own peace over holding on to what could have been. It's understanding that some apologies come too late, not because you're bitter, but because your healing has already moved you past needing them. When you forgive, you're not letting them off the hook. You're letting yourself off the hook. You're breaking the chains that kept you tied to the pain. You're reminding yourself that your life doesn't have to be defined by what they did. You can move forward not because they deserve your forgiveness, but because you deserve your freedom. Forgiveness is not a gift for them. It's a gift you give yourself. And once you give yourself that gift, nobody can take it away from you. People don't realize what they have until it's gone. They take kindness for granted, assuming it'll always be there. They mistake patience for permanence, thinking they'll always have time to make things right. But life has a way of teaching lessons in ways we don't expect. The moment they feel your absence, the moment they truly see what they lost, that's when desperation sets in. See, realization never comes at the beginning. It doesn't come when they're making the mistake. It doesn't come when they're walking away convinced they'll be just fine without you. It comes in the silence, in the empty spaces where you used to be. It comes when they go to text you but realize there's no more conversation waiting for them. It comes when they hear a song, see a place, or relive a moment that once belonged to both of you, but now only belongs to their memory. People don't always notice the value of love, loyalty, and consistency until they experience the absence of it. That's when the weight of their actions crashes down on them. That's when regret starts whispering in their ear, reminding them of the things they should have done differently. And the truth is, regret is loud. It doesn't let them rest. It keeps them up at night, playing every mistake, every harsh word, every missed opportunity on repeat. At first, they might try to ignore it. Pride will have them thinking they can move on, that they can replace what they lost. But real connection isn't something you just find again. When you've truly been there for someone, when you've given them a kind of love or support they never had before, they'll start to see that what they lost was rare. And when a person realizes they've lost something rare, they'll do whatever it takes to get it back. Desperation comes when they understand that they can't recreate what they had with you. They can meet new people, they can distract themselves, but nothing feels the same because it wasn't just about what you did for them. It was about how you made them feel safe, understood, appreciated. And when they realize they threw that away, they'll start scrambling for ways to fix it. You'll see it in their words, in their sudden attempts to reach out. They'll say they miss you, that they think about you all the time. They'll remind you of the good moments, hoping nostalgia will be enough to pull you back in. They'll promise they've changed, that they finally understand what they did wrong. But the question isn't whether they realize it now. The question is, why did it take losing you for them to see your worth? Desperation doesn't always come from love. Sometimes it comes from fear. The fear of knowing they lost someone who truly cared. The fear of facing themselves without the comfort of your presence. The fear that they won't find someone who will love them the way you did. But you are not responsible for easing their fear. You are not responsible for making their guilt disappear. Because when someone truly values you, they don't wait until they lose you to treat you right. They don't take you for granted, thinking you'll always be there. And if they do, if they only realize your worth after you've walked away, then maybe the lesson isn't for you. Maybe the lesson is theirs to carry. Words are easy. Promises come cheap. Anyone can say, I'm sorry. Anyone can tell you they've changed. But words don't heal wounds. Words don't erase the nights you spent wondering why you weren't enough. Words don't undo the pain they caused. Because the truth is, if someone truly understands the damage they did, they won't just say it, they'll show it. They won't just talk about how they've changed, they'll prove it in the way they move, in the way they act, in the way they show up differently. People will come back when they realize what they lost, but the real question is, are they coming back because they genuinely want to make things right? Or are they coming back because they can't handle the consequences of their own actions? Guilt will have a person begging for forgiveness, but guilt is not the same as accountability. Guilt just wants relief. Accountability puts in the work. A real apology isn't about what they say in the moment. It's about what they do after. Do they acknowledge the pain they caused, or do they try to downplay it? Do they take responsibility for their actions, or do they make excuses? Do they put in the effort to rebuild trust, or do they expect you to just get over it? Trust isn't something that can be restored with a single conversation. It's built over time, through consistent effort, through actions that align with words. If someone truly wants to make things right, they will understand that they don't get to dictate the timeline of your healing. They won't rush you. They won't pressure you to move on before you're ready. They won't get frustrated when you still need time, because real change isn't just about proving something to you. It's about proving it to themselves. It's about becoming a better person, not just for the sake of winning you back, but because they recognize that they were wrong. It's about doing the work even when no one is watching, even when there's no guarantee that they'll get another chance. The ones who are truly sorry will show it in the way they respect your boundaries. They won't demand forgiveness. They won't try to manipulate their way back into your life. They will take the time to understand what you need from them, and more importantly, they will take the time to show you that they've changed through their actions, not just their words. So when someone comes back desperate to make things right, don't just listen to what they say, watch what they do. Watch how they handle the discomfort of knowing they hurt you. Watch how they navigate the distance they created. Watch whether they are willing to be patient, to be consistent, to put in the effort that should have been there in the first place. Because at the end of the day, love is not about grand gestures or empty promises. It's not about words spoken in desperation. It's about showing up day after day, proving through actions that they mean what they say. If they truly want to make things right, they won't just tell you, they'll show you. And if they can't do that, then maybe they were never as sorry as they claimed to be. Timing is everything. People always think they have more time than they really do. They think they can hurt you, walk away, and come back when it's convenient, when they finally decided they're ready to make things right. But what they forget is that time moves forward whether they show up or not. Time doesn't wait for apologies. Time doesn't pause for regret. While they were figuring things out, you were learning how to live without them. While they were realizing your worth, you were discovering your own. There's a difference between someone who misses you and someone who values you. Missing you is about what they lost, how their life feels emptier without you in it. But valuing you is about who you are, not just what you gave them. The truth is, if they truly valued you, they wouldn't have waited until time separated you to see your worth. They wouldn't have let pride or fear or selfishness get in the way of treating you right when they had the chance. People come back when it benefits them, not always when it's best for you. They come back when the silence gets too loud, when loneliness reminds them of what they threw away. But just because they're ready to fix things now doesn't mean you have to open the door. Healing doesn't follow their timeline. Your heart is not a revolving door that they can walk in and out of whenever they please. It's hard when someone you cared about finally says all the things you wanted to hear, when they finally show up with apologies and promises. But you have to ask yourself, are they coming back because they love you? Or are they coming back because they can't handle losing the version of you that loved them? There's a difference. Just because someone realizes they made a mistake doesn't mean they're meant to be part of your life again. Sometimes the apology is the closure, not the invitation. Sometimes the lesson is that they needed to lose you to learn how to treat the next person better. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is forgive them and keep moving forward without them. You owe it to yourself to protect your peace. You owe it to yourself to guard the healing you fought so hard to find. If someone couldn't see your worth when you were giving them your best, they don't automatically deserve access to the stronger, wiser version of you now. It's not bitterness, it's self-respect. Timing matters because healing changes people. The version of you they're desperate to come back to doesn't even exist anymore. You outgrew the version of yourself that tolerated their inconsistency. You outgrew the version of yourself that kept hoping they would change. They're trying to make things right with a version of you that doesn't live here anymore. If they really want to be part of your life again, they'll have to meet you where you are now, not where they left you. They'll have to prove they can add to your peace, not just take from it. They'll have to earn back the trust that time and distance have rebuilt. You are not obligated to let someone back into your life just because they finally realize what you were worth. The apology can be genuine, the regret can be real, but your peace, your growth, and your healing are not negotiable. The most powerful decision you'll ever make is choosing to protect your future, even when your heart wants to hold on to the past. Your worth was never tied to how someone treated you. It wasn't defined by their absence or their inability to see your value when you were right in front of them. You were enough the whole time, before they left, during the silence, and even now as they try to find their way back into your life. The way someone mishandled your heart says more about them than it ever could about you. You gave what you had from a pure place. You loved without holding back. You stood by them when they didn't deserve your loyalty. That kind of love doesn't make you weak, it makes you rare. But the danger in having a kind heart is believing that everyone who receives it knows how to handle it. The truth is, not everyone will know what to do with someone who genuinely cares. They take your kindness as something guaranteed, something they'll always have access to. But now you've learned, now you understand that your worth doesn't decrease just because someone failed to see it. The version of you they left behind was still figuring that out, still waiting for validation, still hoping they would realize what they had before it was too late. But this version of you, the one standing here now, knows better. This version of you knows that your worth was never in question. The only thing in question was whether they were capable of meeting you at the level you deserved. When someone comes back desperate to make things right, it's easy to feel flattered. It's easy to believe their regret is proof of your value. But you don't need their apology to confirm what you've always been. You were valuable even when they couldn't see it. You were enough even when they made you feel like you weren't. Their absence didn't break you, it revealed you. It showed you how powerful you are when you're forced to stand alone. Your worth isn't up for negotiation. You don't have to shrink yourself to make space for someone who only wants to return now that they see your glow. You don't have to reopen the door to someone who only appreciates you after they lost you. Let their desperation be their lesson, not your burden. You don't have to let someone back into your life just because they've finally realized what they had. That's not your problem to fix. That's their cross to carry. You deserve someone who recognizes your worth from the start, someone who doesn't need to lose you to see what they have. You deserve consistency, not temporary affection driven by regret. The apology might be real, the regret might be heavy, but that doesn't mean they're entitled to your heart again. Forgiveness is yours to give, but access is yours to protect. Growth isn't just about learning how to forgive others. It's about learning how to value yourself so deeply that you won't settle for less than what you deserve ever again. It's about understanding that not everyone who wants back into your life deserves a seat at your table. Some people were meant to teach you how strong you are when you're forced to walk away. Your worth was never defined by the way they left. It's defined by the way you rose in their absence. It's defined by how you chose yourself when they couldn't choose you. Now, the most powerful thing you can do is stand in that worth without needing anyone to confirm it. Let them miss you, let them regret losing you, but never let their desperation make you forget who you are. You were the prize before they left, and you're still the prize now. The only difference is now you know it.